what we're going to talk about in the remaining time is who are the power moms? Where do I find them? What do I do with them once I find them? And then how can I really leverage them to build my brand? Now, the good news is Empower Moms, which you can buy on our website or through Amazon. We've started the work for you. We have over 400 moms in this book. We have a section on the dad influencers that we know who are out there. And we also have a section on celebrities that we consider to be power moms. So we've done a lot of the work for you. But let's say that you don't want to spend the, I don't even know, what is it, $42 for the book. How do you find the influencers? Well, what we've discovered is that there are certain characteristics that make a mom more of an influencer than other moms. And some of these characteristics, we use what we call a mom matrix, but mom maven matrix. Doesn't that sound so antiquated? Anyways, we have identified about 22 characteristics beyond her sphere of influence. So sphere of influence would be, you know, how many different people she touches throughout the week, you know, whether it's in the carpool lane, homer mom like I am, soccer mom, wrestling mom, whatever, basketball coach, and then of course her Twitter, her Facebook, her Tumblr, her Whirl, whatever, her Foursquare. So beyond the sphere of influence, we have determined that there are certain things like a mom who has gone through some kind of tragedy in her life as a mother or as a woman. Those women tend to be influencers. Why? Because her peer group sees that she's gone through something tragic and may have experienced something or know of things that they haven't. Moms of multiples tend to be influencers. So a lot of times when I'm looking for mom influencers, I'll pick up a parenting publication, and let's say it's Atlanta Parent or San Diego Parent, and I'll go straight to the back where it lists all of the different groups that meet and when they meet, and it normally has a phone number and a name next to it. And I always go to the moms of multiples because I know that other moms, for some reason, think that if you're raising 2 at a time or 3 at a time or 4 at a time, now that infertility is so popular, or fertility drugs are so popular, infertility is never popular. Anyways, I know that other moms think that raising 2 is more difficult than raising 1, and they must know something that I don't know because they're having to do it 2 times as hard. So I always look at the back of those parenting magazines and I identify the groups, you know, mothers of multiples, because they're always a good resource, especially on a local level, for influencers. Moms who have published a book are great influencers. Why? Because they have some nugget of information that other mothers see them as an influencer. And now, remember this. An influencer is not the same as an alpha mom, okay? An alpha mom is one segment of moms, okay? She tends to be the Martha Stewart on Overload. There are beta moms who are influencers, and not every mom who's an influencer is an influencer in every category. For instance, if you know me, I just like to use myself as a big old target, but if you know me, you know that I try to eat as clean as possible. So I would not be an influencer if it came to, let's say, a fast food restaurant or a potato chip company. I haven't had a soda in 3 years, so I definitely would not be an influencer in the soda industry. However, if you were, you know, almonds, California almonds, I am your girl because anybody who knows me, eat a lot of almonds. Or so you are not an influencer in every category. I would not be an influencer probably in the newborn category, because although I've done it, it's been 15 years since I've done it. So so not every mom is an influencer in every category. So How do you identify these moms? Well, you want to look for a mom who is communicating with other moms in as many different areas as possible. Look at her, particularly with a millennial mom. Look at her Facebook page. Try to figure out, does she belong to multiple groups on Facebook? Does she have a lot of friends on Facebook? Does she comment a lot of Facebook? Do you know that the average mom likes 3 brands a month, okay? 3 brands a month. So how can you get into her community on Facebook? A lot of times that conversation might start on Twitter, it might start in the line at the grocery store, it might start in a different place. It might start with you mining the database of moms that you already have. Is there a that has emailed you multiple times about a product idea, or maybe a mom who you've converted from having a problem to being a real fan of your brand? Sometimes you can start with just a few, and then what I find is that a lot of moms will recommend other moms as being a fan of your brand. I want to just jump back real quick because many of you might, I see a couple of questions in there about how do you get a mom to like your brand, and why do moms like your brand, like your brand? Well, on Facebook, we actually did research, and it is in Power Moms. What the moms are looking for when they like a brand on Facebook is they're looking for discounts, coupons, exclusive deals, and information. That's what they really expect, and particularly in this day and age of Mom Frugalista, that's not going away. She's definitely looking for something exclusive from the brand that she loves and likes on Facebook. So once you find, so how do you find these women? Well, you find them by asking other moms for recommendations. You find them by reaching out to various communities online. This is a place where you might use bloggers that you already have a relationship with and work with them to identify people in their tribe that they may think is an influencer. And I always, whenever I'm putting an influencer program together, I always screen and filter the moms, because there are a lot of, I don't want to name any names, but there are a lot of groups out there that say they have, a database of 1 million mom influencers. Well, number one, if they have a database of 1 million mom influencers, then not every one of those 1 million moms is an influencer in every category. And number two, if they're have 1 million moms that they're continually reusing for every influencer program, then that's not a good sign either. So I always screen my influencers, because I don't want my influencers pimping themselves out to every influencer program out there. I want them to really demonstrate influence that comes from the heart, rather than I'm just being paid by a whole bunch of different agent groups that I can belong to. So, so consider that too. So how else do I find influencers? I find them by mining the parenting publications in local and national markets. I find them by looking at shared characteristics. So say a client who is looking for Christian moms, then I will communities of homeschooling moms, because I know that Christian moms and homeschooling moms have a lot of shared behaviors. So I'll go into communities of homeschooling moms, and I'll start asking questions that help me identify mom influencers, or I'll start talking to one mom who will recommend 2 moms. The other thing you can do is empower an influencer to invite other influencers. So most influencers know 1 or 2 other influencers. They kind of hang out together, and they kind of compete against each other too in certain circles. But it's friendly competition, which, if you've ever heard me speak, is one of the motivators of moms. So you can leverage that friendly competition by saying, hey, you know what, we'd love for you to be a part of our influencer program. Would you like to invite 2 of your friends? And chances are they're going to bring along 2 of their other influencer friends along with them. So, so that's one way. So now, once you find these influencers, how do you use them? Number one, you can engage them on Facebook and allow them to help produce content for you. Moms love to brag about what they know, and sometimes they like to brag about what they don't know. Well, give them a forum and give them a voice in something that you're doing. Create an ambassador program. And now, I'm not saying you invite a dozen of them to your corporate headquarters and you say, okay, well, these are our influencers and we're going to treat them to a spa visit and bring them to our headquarters and educate them and send them on their way, and they're going to influence everybody. That's not an influencer program. Number one, influencers need tools, so that means you have to communicate with them. And you know, I can say this because I was the first to invite influencers to a corporate headquarters. Most people don't do it well. We invite people to come and visit us, and we don't have a communication plan set up before we invite them there. And on top of it, you know, it's like one of those things, women want you to talk back to them. So the first thing they're going to ask is, what do you want from me, and when am I going to hear from you again? And if you're not prepared for that, then those kind of trips and those kind of things can backfire on you. You know, another thing, another way of using influencers, and we have very, very, very successfully been doing this since 1998, long before anybody else was having parties in their houses. We created mommy parties, and if you haven't ever been to mommyparties.com, I will put it right here in the box, the chat room for you, mommyparties.com. You will find that what we're creating here is we're engaging influencers to actually invite other moms into their homes, and think about it as social media meets Tupperware parties. Because the reason why these work is that moms still like to socialize face-to-face, regardless of how connected they feel with social media. That's why direct sales business continues to grow, because women love to get together, no matter how busy they are. So, so mommy parties, let me just tell you about them. So basically what you're doing is you're inviting mom influencers to invite 10 of their friends into their home to experience a brand in their living room or in their backyard or wherever the party is themed around. What we find is that 80% of those moms that host a party will tell 20 or more moms about the brand or the product that is hosting their party. Attend, another 80% of them will tell at least 15 of their friends about the party that they attended. So they're very, very effective, and it lets moms interact with the brand on a very intimate level. So, you know, offline events with power moms who are entrenched online is quite effective in connecting and utilizing power moms. Blogs. Definitely, there is still a lot of value in reaching out to those power mom bloggers. However, and I can't even believe, I got one yesterday. I cannot believe that PR people, no offense to PR people or brands, are still sending out emails that say, and literally I got one yesterday that said, will you share this with your audience? Okay, come on. I have 350 emails in my inbox. What value is it for me, other than I'm a very kind-souled person, to share it with my followers? I would be more than happy if there was any personalization to that email to at least at a minimum tweet it out to my 25,000 followers on Twitter. However, there was no personalization, and will I share this with my audience? Like, what's in it for me? And that's really what a mom thinks about, particularly a time-crunched mom. So there is a value in going out to those Power Mom bloggers, and you'll find a lot of them in this book. But make sure that the blogger that fits you, and don't ask. Sometimes the best influence you can get out of those bloggers is something else they're doing besides blogging. And I'll give you an example. Molly Gold of Go Mom Inc., okay? She's a blogger, yeah. Is her blog popular? You know what? I don't really know. But I can tell you one thing. That woman has 200 videos and a live show on her website and here on Mom TV. So if I was a PR person, what I would be going to Molly to do is saying, hey, Molly, would you mind when you're doing your video to hold up a bottle of Dasani and drink it while you're, you know, doing your videos, like I'm going to do right now, excuse me. And like that product placement in a video, do you know that 90% of moms that we surveyed out of 3,000 across the United States have watched at least one video in the last 7 days, leading me to the reason why we're putting on She Streams 2011 and why Mom TV is so powerful, because video actually is a much more mom-friendly medium than blogging. Because just think about it. You can watch a video and make mac and cheese at the stove and answer math homework questions from your kid all at the same time. If you want to read a blog, you actually have to stop and read the blog, right? So anyways, use these women to help you with video content and self-broadcasting. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, we actually had 11 moms who were doing live shows on Mom TV making baby food for a baby food maker product that we had. And those videos now can reside on multiple blogs. They reside on Mom TV, they reside on YouTube, and they're archived forever. People will be watching them. So, so think about video too and how you utilize your mom influencers. Okay, so I do want to take time for some questions. I think there's a little bit of something going on in the chat room, but I'll let someone figure that one out. But let me give you an example how, so if you do have a question, please put it in the chat room. So let me show you, kind of give you a real case scenario of how my team uses these Power Moms. And this is on a local level in which we just launched a product in Phoenix, Arizona that was geared toward children. I want to mention about Power Moms. Most Power Moms have at least one Power Kid. So if you're trying to get to the child, getting through the Power Mom and engaging the Power Mom with her Power Child is a really good win-win situation, because then you get the influence of kid to kid and you get the influence of mom to mom at the same time. So here's an example of how we would engage with these Power Moms. Very live, real life situation that just recently happened. It's still happening right now. Excuse me. So we're launching this toy in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's a toy that actually lights up at night. So it was really important for us to not only get it in the hands of moms, get it in the hands of kids, but we needed it to really take effect to be demonstrated at night. So we found 54 Power Moms. Some of them were bloggers in Phoenix. Some of them were organizers of middle school dances, end of the year parties. Some of them were teachers. Some of them worked at the local children's hospital. And we literally sampled product with these Power Moms. We went out, we used Facebook, we used 1 or 2 local Power Moms. We used their Facebook page, and we asked them if they would reach out to their friends to see if anybody was hosting slumber parties. So literally in the course of 3 weeks, we were able to identify almost 50 slumber parties in Phoenix, okay? How awesome is it to get a light up toy at a slumber party in the market in which you're testing it? So we gave each of the moms enough that they could have party favors at their slumber party, with the only caveat being that we wanted the kids to be able to open them before they left the party. So because, you know, kids play with toys together, then there's more of a buzz. We asked the moms if they didn't mind, if their kids could dance with them, or, you know, if they could film or do some video of their kids using the toys at the slumber party. You'll now find many videos on YouTube of kids at slumber parties using our light up toys. And then we were able to find end of the year baseball parties. And again, if you just ask one mom about who's having end of the year baseball parties, you literally will have the whole league engaged within hours. And we were able to supply samples of the product as prizes at these end of the year baseball parties. So think about using these influencers in very, very creative ways. We also had 50 moms host backyard bashes, which are similar to mommy parties, where we sent them the whole party kit to invite 10 of their friends over with 10 of their kids and throw a party in their backyard using our light up toys at night. And it ended up with pre and post party blog posts. It ended up on Twitter. It ended up on Facebook page. And you get the gist. By identifying these moms that had a lot of contacts on the ground as well as online, we were able to double the reach of samples and of penetration and concentration in Phoenix, and now the product is going national. So before I take any questions, I got a couple there. I just want to follow up with a couple of last minute thoughts. My thoughts for marketers is that it's time to start looking at more integrated approaches to reaching power moms. Think about moving toward new technologies like video and Facebook that are more mainstream yet leverage influencers. Look toward offline initiatives as well as those that might seem a little antiquated, but really get to the core of what motivates a mom, and that's socialization. Because even the somebody is asking a question, are mommy parties affordable for small business owner? A minimum, like some other people. Yes, they are affordable, and it's all about just creating something really fun, you know, a party in the box. Does running contests help increase brand loyalty? You know, I think that I think it depends. A lot of us collect names without having any plans on what we're going to do with those names. And I think that if you run contests that are simple and are fun, in fact, we actually, and this again, I am just such a huge fan of video. We actually, in some of the research that we did in here, we asked mom about uploading pictures or videos, and 65% of the moms that we surveyed admitted having uploaded a video or a picture to enter a contest online. So contests really get to A, fun, and B, the fact that moms like to brag. Like, videos allow a mom to brag without bragging about her kids. So so I think they do build loyalty. However, you cannot make them complicated. And quite honestly, the whole getting overdone, because people are starting to ignore when their friends say, oh, could you please go over there and link, you know, click on my brother's picture because he might win a free washing machine if he gets the most votes. I think those kind of contests are becoming very cumbersome, and they're kind of not doing what they used to want to do. I mean, if you think about it, the only real reason we do them is to drive traffic to our site. I like the more viral type of contests. We actually did something very unique using Mom TV last summer. If anyone knows me, I'm always on an airplane, and quite honestly, everybody always jokes with me, where in the world is Maria Bailey? So what we did was every Thursday afternoon, I did a video from a Hampton Inn room somewhere in the country and gave a clue to where I was. And moms just had to watch the video, and then they tweeted with a hashtag and guessed what city in the United States I was for a chance to win a night stay in a Hampton Inn. Well, we would get somewhere between 400 and 500 moms every Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock watch my video. Well, it was simple. They watched a 2-minute video. They tried to guess where I was in the United States. We got exposure not only through video, but we got exposure through Twitter, and it was a win-win for everyone. It was very, very simple for the moms. So keep your contests simple, and they become very easy to utilize. Does anybody else have any questions? If conference area room. If we don't have any more questions, I just want to remind you that we will be sending out a link. I also want to tell you about some free resources as far as information about marketing to moms. This video will be housed on marketingtomomstv.com. It'll also be here on Mom TV. You can sign up for our newsletter at bsmmedia.com. And also, if you're not a member of the Marketing to Mom Coalition, go to marketingtomomscoalition.org and become a member. It's free. It's an industry organization, and they publish the State of the American Mom every year. It's really, really a great group of marketers. I also encourage you to go to shestreamsconference.com to find out more about SheStream. And if you have any questions about SheStreams, you can contact Shauna at bsmmedia.com or myself. I want to thank you so much for joining us today on Power Moms. Remember, you can get a copy if you like. I did all the work for you. Actually, my team did, so I thank them for helping me put all this information together. And we'll see you on our next webinar. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Maria Bailey.